Hello there, welcome back to Beauty Beat and welcome to an Empties video. All things considered, I actually had a pretty decent little month for Empties. So there's even quite a bit of makeup in here, which is a little bit surprising to me. So I think we're going to start with some body care and specifically a couple of items that we've already talked about in a previous video. These first two items were both in my Finish 10 for Fall project pan. That took me a little bit longer than I expected. But this is the Tropic Glow Firming Sugar Scrub from Tree Hut. It's a very nice scrub. I do like the consistency of the Tree Hut scrubs. They are a little bit more on the abrasive side, but I don't use a scrub more than maybe once a week, maybe twice a week on like my feet or my legs. So I kind of want something a little bit abrasive. This smelled really good too. I quite like these. I've heard that the Equate scrubs are pretty similar in consistency to the Tree Hut ones, and they're about half the price. So I think that the next one that I purchase will probably be from Equate, which is the Walmart brand. But if that one doesn't work out for me, I would definitely go back to Tree Hut and maybe even that scent. Another one that we talked about in that video is Peace, Love, and Daisies. This is the body lotion from Bath & Body Works. This is, I'm pretty sure, a discontinued scent, but it's a nice one. It was, fine. There are definitely Bath & Body Works scents that I prefer. This is just like a green floral kind of scent. It was okay. I used it up. I didn't feel any great desire to, store it upside down for 2 weeks to try to get that last bit out. So that probably tells you what you need to know about how much I enjoyed that scent. I think I have two. Actually, you know what? While we're at it, let's talk about gingham. This was also in my Finish 10 for Fall project pan. This is from Bath & Body Works, and it is their Fine Fragrance Mist. This is just one of the minis. I liked this scent. I thought that it was nice and fresh. It did not inspire any strong feelings, though. Like Peace, Love, and Daisies, there are definitely Bath & Body Works scents that I prefer over this one. And yeah, the 2.5 ounce size, I think this is. Yeah, 2.5 ounce, 75 ml size was plenty for me. I'm ready to move on to something else. But it's a fine scent. I don't see it being a whole lot of people's absolute favorites, but I don't see very many people hating it either. It just doesn't seem like something that would inspire strong feelings. Keeping on our Bath & Body Works kick, I have a mini shower gel in Twilight Woods. I really like this scent. I remember having this when I was like in middle school probably, and thinking that it was just a gross scent. But now I kind of appreciate the like subtle muskiness of this scent. I don't know that it has notes on it. I will put the notes up here if I can find them online. It's like a warm, subtle musk scent. It's very pretty. It's definitely a little bit more grown up than I would have appreciated when I was 13, which, makes sense. And the packaging on this was pretty cute too, sort of cottagecore vibes. And the body gel itself was sort of a purpley gray color, which I like a lot. So really enjoyed that. I think I have one more body care product, and it is from EOS. This is their Shea Better hand cream in the scent Jasmine Peach. Now, Jasmine Peach sounds like a scent that would be 100% up my alley, and this absolutely was. I really enjoyed this all the way through spring and summer. I squeezed all of it out that I could. These hand creams are really nice. They're pretty inexpensive. I think I got a set of 3 for like $8 or $10 around the holidays at Target, and I think that they're better than most of the other hand creams I've tried. I do like them about the same as Bath & Body Works. I think they're better than the Tokyo Milk one. I really appreciate these. I think I will likely repurchase once I'm done with the other two that came in this set. There really isn't a lot of logic as to how I'm going through these things, but I think next let's go with 2 mini Nest fragrances. Now I bought a set of I think 7 or 8 of these tiny little 3 ml, I believe. Yes, 3 ml roller balls from Nest back in April. I used up one previously and I've kind of been working through them with what fits in the season. So the first one was a golden nectar, and I thought that this was fine. It's a little bit of a warmer take on floral. I can see this being a perfume that might be really nice to gift. Sort of like gingham, though it's not similar to gingham in any way. I think that this wouldn't be a turnoff to very many people. It's warm, it's pretty, it's floral. But I don't see this becoming a lot of people's favorites. Citrine was a little bit different. To me, this had like a very prominent like lemongrass kind of note. And I don't dislike the scent of lemongrass, but it also kind of smells like bug spray to me because natural bug spray does tend to have quite a bit of lemongrass in it. And I'm the person who just gets devoured by mosquitoes if I go outside. I am like a bug spray for everyone else around me because they'll just choose to eat me instead. So very familiar with lemongrass scents. And the lemongrass was not the most prominent note in this, but I always could kind of smell it. And I could see that being a really big positive for some, but to me it was just like bug spray. So not wild about this, but I did like it enough to finish it, and I enjoyed it as I was using it, but not something I would buy. Yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason as to how I'm going through these, but I finished a sheet of nail stickers. There is one little leaf guy left over. I think this had leaves and like little pink flowers. Trying to work through some of my nail stickers. I bought like a 50 pack, I think, of this size that were all floral, or 90% floral. I think there were some that were like butterflies, but trying to work through those, so glad to have another one out. I additionally used 2 of these Pure Leaf sheet masks. These are their coconut and rice nourishing sheet mask. It's a sheet mask. It was moisturizing, it was soothing, it was a pleasant experience to use. That's pretty standard for sheet masks though. I liked it. I don't know that I liked them any more than any other sheet mask. Okay, one piece of skincare. This is from CeraVe and it is their Hydrating Facial Cleanser. I was using this almost exclusively when my skin was in really, really bad shape. I would use this and like an aloe spray, and that was about it. I like this. I don't think it's the greatest cleanser out there, but I think that if your skin is in bad shape or if it's very sensitive or very dry, this is probably a really good option for you. I know that feeling super, super clean, almost tight isn't great, but I don't think I go quite far enough to want to have my skin feel tight, but I really like to feel like everything is off, and this doesn't quite do that for me. But it was really good to get me through that period when absolutely nothing was working for me. I finished a nail polish. This is from Wet n Wild. It's their Fast Dry Polish, and this is probably like my single favorite color of nail polish. It is this light sort of periwinkle blue, though this is a bit more saturated than most periwinkles are. This is the shade Mile High Club. I really enjoyed this. If I didn't have like 10 other light blue sort of periwinkle kind of shades, I would probably go out and repurchase this today. It is a beautiful, beautiful shade. I like these fast dry nail polishes. I have this one from Wet n Wild, and then I have quite a few from Sally Hansen. I think they do actually dry a little bit faster than most polishes. I would say that this dried even faster than the Sally Hansen one did. However, this dried kind of weird on that first coat. With certain Sally Hansen polishes, you can really get away with like one coat and it looks pretty good. This one, that first coat, it just dries really streaky, really funky. It looks like a, $2 nail polish when it on that first coat, but on the second, it really starts to even out and you don't have to wait any time whatsoever to apply that second coat. The third coat looks really nice. So I think that's probably why I used it up relatively quickly, is that I did need minimum 2 and usually 3 coats with this polish. But it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it dries quickly enough that it's hard to mess up. You don't have like that hour and a half that you have with some nail polishes where you can mess it up if you hit your finger against something. Your mess up period was like 10 minutes tops, which I think was great. I have so much makeup to talk about today. Let's start with mascaras. I don't think mascaras are necessarily super interesting empties because you just kind of hit the point where it's time to switch them out, whether they're really empty or not. But I have 2 to talk about this time around. First, we have Monsieur Big from Lancome. This is a sample, and I think that this is probably a better mascara in a full size than in a sample. I think that the stopper on this didn't do quite a good enough job of cleaning off the brush. I ended up with very clumpy, sort of spider looking lashes, which I don't mind on some occasions. I think that with some looks, some kind of chunkier, almost spider lashes are kind of a nice addition. I think they give the kind of drama that I might get from false lashes, but I don't wear false lashes. So it's nice to have a mascara like this around, but I don't know how different this would be if, like in a full size, if it cleaned off the brush a little bit better. I think that I might have a little bit less of that spider effect. Anyway, I'm not in the market for Lancome priced mascaras, so I will gladly take another sample of this if I find it somewhere, but I'm not going to seek it out. The other mascara that I have is Tarte Gifted. I love the packaging on this. It is, I believe it's bamboo actually, but it is actually wood. The brush on this one is a very, very standard looking natural bristle brush. I think that this is a decent mascara. It does a good job of making my lashes look black. It adds a little bit of fullness, a little bit of length. Actually, let's backtrack. It adds a moderate amount of fullness and a moderate amount of length. I think that's a more fair descriptor. I think this is a really good everyday mascara. I don't know that it's my favorite everyday mascara, but I do really like it. It is definitely something that if I saw it in a kit or something similar, it would be a big positive towards me buying that kit. But I probably wouldn't repurchase this just because I think this is like a $22 mascara, and $22 is kind of a lot for mascara. I don't know if that's the real price, but it's somewhere in that range. I also finished / had dry up on me a liquid eyeliner. This is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof liquid liner. I'm really impressed with this. I've actually already repurchased it, and you can see the tip is starting to get a little bit frayed, which isn't that surprising because I think I have had this open for over a year. Probably shouldn't keep liquid eyeliners open for over a year, but this was like $4.50 and it continued to work through that entire period. I think that this is quite comparable to the KVD tattoo liner. I find them to be very, very similar. I like how intense and black this is on first swipe, and I mean, it served me well for an entire year. Really impressed with that. Absolutely would repurchase, have repurchased, probably will repurchase again. I have 2 empty pans of powder products. The first we have talked about in my year-long project pan, but this is from It Cosmetics. It is, I think, the Bye Bye Pores powder, maybe? I don't know. It was a white translucent powder. I used it all over my face. It was fine. It was a powder. I don't have strong feelings really about any powders that I've ever used, so it was a translucent powder. It did what I needed it to do, which was just mattify. Great. The other one that I finished is an eyeshadow. This was, I think you can kind of see, sort of a lightly shimmery pink, orangey pink shade from, I think, Wet n Wild, maybe? I really don't know where this came from. I had repressed it into this magnetic pan months or maybe, even well over a year ago. And I did like it. It was very softly pigmented. It was the kind of thing that I could use as a one shadow look, or I could put in my crease. Yes, it was shimmery, but it didn't have a lot of shimmer to it. Really, just overall, it was not a great shadow, but very usable, pretty easy to wear. I liked it. I'm glad to have it gone though, because I have so much eyeshadow and it always feels good to finish one up. And now we have 4 lip products to talk about. Let's start again with one that we've talked about in a previous video. This was in my Finish 10 for fall, and it is from ColourPop. This is one of their Just Tint minis in Butterfly Kisses, I think. No, Chubby Bunny. The other one was Butterfly Kisses. This is a pink. I never quite fell in love with this. It was quite a bright blue-toned pink. It was pretty, but nothing spectacular. I think the formula on these is not ColourPop's best. I find they almost look streaky, like you can tell where swipe 1 was versus where swipe 2 was. Not wild about that. And they have like a really synthetic tropical scent to them. I don't dislike these, but I think that the glowing lips from ColourPop are a better version of a similar idea. They're both, you know, slightly sheer, shiny lip products. I think that the glowing lips just do that a little bit better than these do. The next lip product is from Jason Wu. This is their Soft Balm in a shade that is not on the packaging. This was like a coral shade. It was fine. I don't think that these are incredible lip balms, and they also don't offer a lot of color, so don't buy these for like $11 or whatever they are regular price. I got these in a duo from Ipsy for I think $6. At that price, I think they were still not a great deal, but the right price. They're okay lip balms. They add a tiny bit of color. It's a little bit hard to get all of the product out. That's pretty standard for these kind of squeezy tube lip balms though, and it really got pretty messy towards the end. I think you can tell there's just a bunch of lip gloss stuck on the end there. Not wild about these, won't be repurchasing, but I'm really glad to have this gone. It was definitely the kind of product that I wanted to use up rather than declutter, but I'm very happy to have it used up. One more lip gloss. This is from Winky Lux, and it is their lip oil in the Stars. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but those little gold pieces at the bottom are all little stars. I kind of thought when I was wearing this that these were going to like get crushed up over time or something and provide a little bit of gold glitter on the lips. they didn't. They just kind of sunk to the bottom, and that was that. There was a little bit of gold shimmer in this lip oil. It was kind of pretty. I mean, it looked very, very pretty in the tube when I first got it. I got this through FabFitFun, I think. And I think that that's kind of what Winky Lux was going for. I have the sneaking suspicion that a lot of Winky Lux's products are really intended to be given as gifts because they look really pretty when you first get them. However, a lot of them seem like they wouldn't be that pretty after you use them a few times. Think, you know, like this, where you just have a bunch of gold balls at the bottom of a tube, or those like cream blushes that look like roses, where if you used them for any significant period of time, you would lose the rose entirely. That's my little conspiracy theory with Winky Lux. But this was an okay lip oil. I didn't think it was anything special. I do think that I went through it really fast. Like, I know that it looks like the wand is submerged still, and I mean, probably because oh, of course I can get more out now because I'm trying to film an Empties video. But I was really struggling to get product out of this the last time I used it. This is kind of an expensive lip oil for the drugstore, and I don't think it's worth that price. However, if you're looking for something that'll be really pretty in Instagram pictures and you're not as worried about, you know, only getting a month's worth of use out of it or 6 weeks worth of use out of it, maybe it's something you want to look into. The last empty is the one that I'm most excited about. This is a Revlon lipstick. This is the shade Secret Club. It is in my year-long project pan, so spoiler for that video. But here's what it is looking like. Yes, there's a tiny little nub left, but I can't apply it without scraping my lips, so I'm calling it done. This is a very pretty pink shade. It is a little bit more of a bright pink than I think makes the ideal everyday color for me. I think that I will likely end up repurchasing like an everyday pink shade from the Revlon Super Lustrous line, but I think that I would probably repurchase Blushing Mauve over this one. That one's just a little bit softer and, well, more mauvey, as the name would suggest. This one is a little bit more pink. I really like the formula of these. I really do enjoy them. I have quite a few of them. And I'm really, really excited to have a full-size lipstick done. I don't know that I've finished any full-size lipsticks so far this year. And that's pretty unusual for me. Usually, in the past, I would have gone through a full-size lipstick probably like every other month, just because I had so many fewer lipsticks. But now I have too many, and my progress has definitely slowed down. Anyway, I think that wraps up my empties for the month. There was actually quite a bit here. I'm really happy with how much I finished up. I think in large part that is due to having done a no-buy in the month of July. I think that pushed me to use some things that had been sitting in my collection for a little bit longer, and I was really close on, well, really all of these, because I stopped wearing makeup like August 10th or something. So I was really close to finishing all of these at the beginning of the month. So my September empties is probably going to be pretty sad looking, but I think there'll still be a couple of things in there. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider liking and subscribing if you did, and I hope that I will see you all in my next one. Bye!